What's up, all lovely people? Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. It really does mean a lot to me. Today, we're going to be talking about the sixth night of 31 Days of Halloween Horror, so stick around.
You're afraid of dying.
How do you know? You've never tried it before.
All right, everyone, as I already said, and you saw on the thumbnail, sixth night of Halloween, or 31 Days of Halloween Horror. You might be able to guess what I picked from the thumbnail. It's actually a movie that just came out on the 6th of October. Brand new movie. A lot of people have talked about it so far, so you might be able to guess it. But if you haven't, just one more second. First, hit that like button, the subscribe button. All those buttons does help me out with the whole algorithm thing. But with that out of the way, Totally Killer. That's right. It's a new Blumhouse pick. I guess it's for like Blumhouse TV section, maybe. Anyways, just came out on the 6th. I actually had no clue about it. I didn't even know this thing existed or was coming out. I heard someone else talk about it, and I'm like, oh, I'll go give that a watch. And it did. And I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It's fun. Um, this is gonna be a weird comparison. I will say, I don't think this movie is as good as the one I'm comparing it to, but they have something in common. And I'm gonna compare it to one of the movies I've already watched, which is Happy Death Day. And the thing I think they have in common is Happy Death Day took a very familiar trope, the time loop movie, right, and injected horror into that. And I think it did it really successfully. This movie has a similar comedy horror feel, but it took another trope, the time traveling trope, and it injected horror into that. And I think it works really well. Like I said, I don't think this is as good as Happy Death Day. However, it's still a great time. It really does do the time travel thing in a very, I don't want to sound negative when I say this, but the word that's coming to mind is generic way. All the hijinks and tropes you think are going to happen with a time travel movie, they're all there. You're going to see them all. You're going to see all the classics. But I don't think that's a bad thing in this case. And it injects horror really well. Uh, it's essentially, I'll give you the synopsis of the movie because I don't want to ruin anything. Um, because like I said, it just came out, so I'm guessing a lot of people haven't got a chance to watch it. But this is the synopsis listed on IMDb. When the infamous Sweet 16 killer returns 35 years after his first murder spree to claim another victim, a 17-year-old Jamie accidentally travels back in time to 1987, determined to stop the killer before he can start. So that's the synopsis. Jamie is played by Kiernan Shipka, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She's probably most famous for the Netflix reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Now, this is directed by I'm just already gonna apologize because I don't think I'm saying this name correctly. Nanachka Khan. That's the name of the director. I haven't heard of them before. Don't know anything else they've done, but the direction, I think the movie was pretty solid. There's some CG spots in a couple of the kill scenes that were a little to me, but going back to what I just said, the kill scenes, they were pretty legit. Like I wasn't expecting those kind of kills from this movie. There's some aggressive ones. That's the word I would use to describe them, as aggressive. I'll try to talk a little bit about it without giving spoilers. Sweet 16 Killer, they get that moniker from the fact that I think their first kill is someone who's at their Sweet 16 party, and they also stab all of their victims 16 times. They do 3 murders in 1987 and they stop. And then 2023, there's a new murder. So some things come about. They got to figure out who it is. Jamie, as I said, Karen Chipka, ends up getting sent back in time. And that was my biggest question when hearing about this movie or reading about it before I watched it. And by reading about it, I mean reading the synopsis. How the hell is she going to go back in time? Like, where does that come in? There's a lot of conveniency in the writing of this movie. Or convenience, not conveniency. Convenience. For instance, how the time travel comes about. There's another thing that's just a very convenient plot device. It's the fact that she enjoys vintage stuff. Like she wears her mom's jacket, which is from the 80s. She enjoys that kind of vintage stuff. So just coincidentally, when she gets sent back in time, she's already dressed the part. So there's some convenience in the writing in that regard, but it doesn't detract from it. Like I said, I had a great time throughout the movie. I'm not going to say anything else about it because I don't want to spoil it. It was a very great pick for for night 6. I'm not certain if it's going to stay on my 31 days of Halloween horror for the upcoming years, but it's definitely going to be a movie I'll watch again at some point. So I probably will do a full review of this just because it's a new movie and I want to talk more about it. But with that out of the way, I'm gonna give this maybe 3.5 out of 5 pumpkins. I think it was up there. It was that good. Yeah, 3.5. I think it's deserving of 3.5. It could be better. There's room for improvement, but for what it was and for me not expecting it, it's pretty good. So there you go. Totally killer. My pick for night 6 of 31 Days of Halloween Horror. Have you seen it? What did you think? If you haven't, are you gonna watch it? What did you watch on your sixth night of Halloween Horror? And are you planning to do something like this in the future? Drop all that info down in the comments. With that, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.